So I was working with a client recently, and this has happened a lot, and has also happened personally in my life. But the conundrum of having fear of success came up. So what seems obvious is a fear of failure, right? We're afraid to fail, so we don't try. And by the way, I've always said this, when we're afraid to fail and we don't try, the not trying is the failure. So I always tell people, you're not afraid to fail because you didn't try and you failed, so you weren't afraid to fail. You know, not trying is the failure. So what must it be then? It's fear of success. But what in the world does that mean, right? What does that even mean? Who in the world? And my client even said, and we had a laugh. He's like, what person would have, why do humans, he said, why do humans have that? And I'm like, you're right. I mean, we laugh because most of us do, especially in this Western world of succeeding and thriving and, owning and, being this and that. And it came to me is that, no, nobody in their quote unquote right mind would fear that. But we do. And why do we fear that? And it hit me. It's because it's not ours. I'm going to fear somebody else's definition of success if it doesn't match mine. And for most of us, we don't know what that means to us. We just are, kind of written in the, in our scripts of, from growing up in our family, dynamics and our, peer groups and our entertainment, movies, TV, whatever, literature. I mean, on and on. This definition of what success is. And everybody's definition is going to be different. I'd like to say the one similarity that's going to come through what success is for a human race is a sense of freedom and fulfillment. Because if I truly am feeling free and fulfilled, I'm going to be and feel quite successful, whether it's for a moment or a lifetime. It's when I'm not feeling free or fulfilled, it doesn't matter how rich I am or powerful or undefeated or, whatever, any definition of what success means in our, lifestyle of competition and winning and losing and owning and, dominating and submitting and all this kind of stuff is, whatever society has handed us as definitions. If I'm not free and fulfilled in that, then that's not success. And just like, an animal fears danger, we can, as humans, we can fear, I don't want that. I don't really want that. But as humans, we have this consciousness that makes it more confusing because I'm supposed to want that. Who the heck doesn't want that? Why wouldn't you want that? That is your freedom of fulfillment. You get to do whatever you want. You get to, you get to, tell people what to do. You get to be the champion. You get to be the winner. You get to be the leader. You get to be the owner. You get to be the boss. You get to be the billionaire. You get to be whatever. And people that are those, maybe they feel that in the moment, but it's not because of what they got. It's because of how they already feel who they are. And so it's really important that we look at not what society or even our family or somebody else's determination of what success is, that we really go within ourselves and what is it that is successful to me? What is my meaning of success? And like I said, freedom and fulfillment. So some people, freedom is working. Some people, freedom is obviously, I don't have to work a day in my life. To some people, freedom is having $1 billion. To some people, freedom is being completely broke. And I'll give you an example. There's a woman by the name of Peace Pilgrim. I think I've talked about her before. I love this woman. She was a woman that lived up until 1981 when she died. But from 1950 something, 54 I think it was, to 1981, she walked across the country with this jumpsuit that said, "Walking for Peace," for the disarmament of all nations first. Because it was literally after World War II and in the Korean conflict and Vietnam. She walked through all these things and walking for peace. And she was walking 25,000 miles. Well, in 27 years, she did that plus. The woman walked everywhere she went, literally, not figuratively. And when she was sometimes strange, she became quite, not famous, but known, because people, I mean, she was very unassuming. She was very spiritual and connected with Source, with Spirit, with God. And she said, her definition, she said, I am the richest person on earth. I have no worries and no concerns. I always am fed, and she never asked for a meal in her life. Just people give her things. She was, and if she didn't eat for 3 days, she was fulfilled with her sense of purpose. And one night, she got picked up by a woman who lived in a very affluent neighborhood in a mansion. And she spent the night in this beautiful, comfortable bed. And the next night, she was off the side of a highway on, route whatever, at a gas station, making newspapers as her blanket on the concrete in the back of the gas station to sleep there. And she was exactly as comfortable in both places. Now, people go, that's BS, no way. Well, maybe not for you, but for her, because she was free. She had no attachment to feeling a sense of physical comfort. Her attachment was to feeling free to be who she really is, which is to just be this emissary of peace. So that I use her as an example. I don't want to sleep on a gas station floor. That would not feel good for me. But do I need, $3 billion in the bank and make sure that I'm okay and that's going to be success to me? No, that's not. Do I want to have a good, prosperous living? Yes. To be free to do what I want to and how I want to? Absolutely. And to be able to do things that fulfill me? Yes. And you do too. Just make it yours, not somebody else's. Not your mother's or your father's or your grandparents or your brothers or sisters or aunts or uncles or cousins or best friends or somebody saw on TV or your significant other or anybody else's point of view. Research, do the research in yourself, what it is that makes you feel free and fulfilled. And if it is everything that's written down on our society's, social media poster board, then go for it. But you'll go for it out of a sense of your own freedom of fulfillment, and you will not be afraid of success.